us today for a new episode. Expert35 is promised, 35 different industries, experts from each industry. We've got a great lineup. We're going to talk about security today with Chris. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. And then we got sports opening back up. How is it going to happen? What's going to change? How to run a nonprofit, how to start a nonprofit. And then we're going to go into the whole world of doctors. We're going to talk about, jewelry and all the retail opening up. So it's just perfect timing to have an expert in security like Chris joining us today, because as we know, everything's opening up, and with the shutdown, security is our primary concern. So Chris, 15 years of experience. Thank you for being Expert09. So if you want to follow Chris on security, text Expert09. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this industry and some of your experience.
Absolutely. So how I got into this industry was just from working in a retail space for a little while. Security is such a big deal. How you protect your assets is as equally as important as anything that you do in business. And then from the other side of it, which I get the pleasure of being able to do now, is help other people in their business and be able to protect it from not only a security standpoint, but from a safety standpoint as well.
Right. And like we said, everything's opening back up slowly, but the pressure points are high. There's a lot. You can start seeing crime climbing. So let's jump right into it, right? Security is important. What is changing?
Oh, man, there's so much that's changing. I would probably say now you have the ability to have your security with you in your pocket. So now you can look and monitor anything and everything that you want to see just by pulling out your phone. And that's such an amazing thing. Technology has come so far.
Yeah, I remember 5 years ago, it was like, the camera was stuck. You couldn't have that. You have to have a VPN. Now it's just an app. And you can go down to Home Depot, you can buy it on Amazon, and you can monitor something, for free as well as services. So there's those change. Everything's changing as well in terms of how those services are being built. The one of the big changes is what's new in terms of capabilities.
Well, there's a lot of new things now. So there are two things. One, there's a verified security, and it's audio based, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But that's a new thing in technology as well. And then like with just biometric screening, it's newer. You've heard of it. You've probably seen it on some movies and things of that nature, but that's also new in the industry as well.
Nice. Now we got a couple questions already popping in. So how are smartphones changing commercial security?
Oh, that's a great question. So now you have the ability to review what's going on in your business at any time that you want to do it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So prior to smartphones, you would arm your system, and the only way you would know if something was going on is if you received a phone call, whatever time that you got it. Nowadays, you can actually look at it. Your phone gives you a notification. It allows you to say, hey, your back door was left open, or someone's trying to breach your back door. It gives you that opportunity to see that.
Absolutely. And so that's important on the commercial side. Now here's residential. Do you guys do residential security? You got Jennifer Johnson asking.
You know what? Hey, Jennifer, great to see you. You know what? We have actually moved into that space. So I think that's a great question. And now we have the ability to be able to look at it both ways. Obviously, it's a consultation because we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for you as a homeowner. But yes, we can be able to help you there as well.
Perfect. Here's a really interesting question. I know we're getting a little bit outside from like actual physical security, but what's the proper response to a ransomware attack?
Well, it depends. So the proper response, if you walk in and it's somewhere it's ransom, you really want to basically try to get the police involved as quickly as possible. Obviously, that goes without saying, but I think you really need to just take a look at what are the opportunities or areas of opportunity that you see that could cause that. And again, that's another thing that you can just partner with any security professional that can help you with that.
Good answer for sure. And it's important, right? Because you also want to make sure that it's for real and that you're not
Yes.
putting more things at jeopardy. And there's an economic downturn. Should I consider security glass for my business?
Absolutely. If you're looking into what's going on in your business, you should definitely consider it. Now, I will tell you this: a lot of times, there are other cost-effective things that you can do that provides the same level of security. But it's customer based. So if it's aesthetically pleasing to you and you want to do that, that's something you can look into. But there's several options. There's so many things that you can do that will keep you safe as well as be cost effective.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about some of the technology that's changed, right? Because we're talking about staying safe and like getting back out there. Like everybody's wearing a mask.
Yes.
So what, like, is there new technology? I mean, with facial recognition, what have you seen in that world?
So you're absolutely right, Gabriel. I mean, everyone's wearing a mask. So like where biometric technology, facial recognition, that was a thing that we really hung our hat on from a security industry standpoint. The landscape's changed. So now what we're doing is like if you have a business that's closed, I would look at an audio based thing to be able to kind of be able to help with that, because the ear is definitely not just the eye. You can hear the ear, you can hear the sound as well. And then the other thing is like access control. So if you're talking about within your scope of your business, you have a fob reader or a card reader, you can know immediately when someone is trying to enter your business or whatever the case may be, just based on that technology.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about that, right? Because you guys provide, and we'll let you kind of brag a little bit about Sonatrol. You guys actually provide audio verification, right?
Yes. Yes. So what that sounds like to you guys is when you arm your system in your business, we can actually hear what's going on. So what that sounds like for the customer, the end user, is if someone's trying to break into your business, we can hear that. We dispatch the police, and the response time is faster because it's verified. In traditional systems, what you have is you have motion detectors and door contacts. Although efficient, it's not verified. So
Right.
if I'm in the city of Houston and I got 10,000 calls a night of alarm systems going off and it's not verified, the chances of me getting to your business within 30 to 40 minutes becomes very, very rare. I've heard some cases even 2 to 3 hours later, the police come, and it's just because their workload is busy and it's not verified.
Look, and that's a perfect question. Jennifer Johnson's asking, does your system cut down on response time?
Our system is absolutely cuts down on response time. We have a great working relationship with the police department in every city. And it's because it's verified, the police department responds. They
Mhm.
know that I'm going to get there and it's going to actually be something that's not a false alarm. So it really, really helps when you have a verified system.
And let's talk about response times. Commercial time, and we're in Houston. What's the response time for a commercial building right now?
So it depends on where you live. Okay. So I
Sure.
want to make sure and be very clear with that. Traditional response time in Houston is about 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. If it's verified, it cuts down on anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. If you're talking residential and you stay in River Oaks, your response time is probably going to be 10 minutes.
Mhm.
They actually have their own police department. So they pride themselves on being able to do that. But if you're in Houston, again, there's a ton of calls. So the response time is going to be a lot longer.
Right, right. So now let's talk about, your expert opinion. We got to stay safe. We're opening up again, right? What do you say is, in your expert opinion, ways to stay safe?
Okay, so this is going to sound really simple, guys, but lock your doors. Okay. So make sure that you lock your car doors. Make sure you don't have things in your car that's visible to that you think are valuable. If it's in your car and it's valuable and you can be seen, people will probably break in to take it. Lock your home doors. Make sure that you have a way to be able to verify that. There are even apps now, and you can actually get just a locking mechanism that you can tie into an app and have an app for it, and it tells you if your doors are locked. That doesn't have to be monitored. That's just something you can do. It's a DIY, if you will.
Right. And if you're going out and if you're going to a location, right? Like what are little things just to, obviously criminals are out and they're wearing a mask.
They're wearing masks right now. So like, be aware of your surroundings. More than ever in today's environment, we really need to look up and we really need to make sure that we're paying attention to the things that are going on around us. Because we're in a landscape where people have masks on today, you can't even read people's body language. So you just have to protect yourself at all costs.
Right. Well, now we got a special section for you. It's called Not on My Watch. All right. So we're talking about, what do you prefer, in your expert opinion, the club versus low jack? Go.
That's funny. I would say low jack. And the reason why is because it helps you identify your vehicle anywhere it may go. And just because you have a club doesn't mean someone's not going to break into your car.
Right. And they can still steal all your stuff. They see right. Right. And I don't even know if they still make the club. All right. The ring versus a bat. I guess not a flying bat, a physical bat.
Absolutely the ring. The ring is a great system. It works. So it allows you to see what's going on at your front door. And you also have ring cameras that are in your space. You do pay for monitoring, so make sure that you take a look at that. So if it's something that you don't want to be monitored, maybe there's another option for you. But the ring is a great system.
And you can share it with someone else. Like I have access to my family's rings, so I can see, especially if they're out of town, or it doesn't really help if I'm in a different city, but it still helps.
That's right. No, that's a great point.
All right, here's a good one. Oh, the ring. I guess the ring's getting beaten up. The ring versus dog. Again,
a dog is a great option. It's a great companion as well. But from a security standpoint, you still want to be able to use a ring. That's my personal opinion.
And we had a question: what's a bat? And Jennifer Johnson, no, we're talking like a baseball bat.
Physical baseball bat.
We're talking baseball bat. Okay, this is a good one. Motion light. I guess motion detection lights versus a dog. That's a good one.
That is a great one. I would still say motion detected lights because, believe it or not, lights actually deter theft. So, and the studies have shown that, like, if you have lighting that's around your business, even your home, like, people think that things that are lit up, no one wants to be seen. So,
right. And if now their lights are like instantaneous, right? And they can be tied to cameras. And we've got another expert, Jana, who is going to talk about the #1 use of liability insurance right now is dog bites.
Wow.
So, I mean, let's talk about liability, right? You lower your liability, and I'm sure if there's a security camera, you can roll that into lowering your premiums, right? Or your insurance costs, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it allows them to see that you're protecting your investment. So that definitely helps. Talk to your insurance provider about that for sure.
Perfect. And that was not on my watch. Great job, Chris. And so now we've got 3 things that we can do right now to really like stay safe and improve our security around us. Go for it.
So #1, super simple. I mentioned it earlier. Lock your doors. Okay. Lock your doors, lock your home, make sure that your business is locked up, and be aware of your surroundings. That's really, really critical in today's environment. #2, get a security consultant to come and give you an assessment of whatever you have a concern about. Their job is to watch your blind spots. So there are things that you don't see that they see. They have an eye for it. They have a knack for it. That's what they do professionally. So they're going to be able to mention it. And it doesn't mean you have to buy it, but you definitely want to make sure that you are listening to what it is that's going to continue to help protect your investment. And then the last thing I would tell you is if you're running a business, take a look at your P&L. Like, what's costing you money? Because if it's costing you money, you probably want to look at that from a security standpoint, as opposed to just putting cameras up all around your business to see who you can see coming in and leaving out. The #1 expense in a business usually is operational, even less than theft. So take a look at that when you're looking at your security.
That is a great point, right? Look at your P&L because it may be your employees, maybe something else, and it be keeping us safe. So, man, so timely, Chris. Thank you for being on Expert35.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a lot of fun. That was really, really cool.
No, we've got some great advice. We've got some great solutions for just looking at your blind spots, and have a consultant come in, because when they look, they're going to tell you, just pointing things out that we can improve. And as things are opening up again, unfortunately, our schedules are different, and there's a lot of people out there, and they're all, like we said, they're all wearing masks.
That's right. That is correct.
Again, thank you so much. Expert09 Chris, if you text Expert09, you can get his contact info. We're going to let you go free into the chat, because there's other questions in there that you should answer. Let's put some of the links to some of those resources, some of the DIY, and definitely to Sonatrol, because I think that the fact that you use audio to monitor is so key. And those minutes can save you so much money. It could even save lives. I mean, it's really right there. So thank you for being on the show, Chris. We love to have you back.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
All right. Stay safe, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We've got a great lineup at Expert35. You've heard it from the expert in security. We're going to talk about nonprofits. We're going to have the flyover. We're going to do a flyover with some outreach coordination. Next week, we also have a great lineup of people that want to do the doctors and opening back up. So thank you for joining us this episode of Expert35. We'll see you soon.
We educate during difficult times. We collaborate at Expert35. This is for a better tomorrow and a better today. Let's come together, and together we will find a way. You got questions, we got solutions. You got problems, we got resolutions. Visit Expert35.com. No need to worry, just remain calm. No more pain, no more sorrows. We provide solutions for a better tomorrow. No more pain, no more sorrows.